Yay, live.
Hey, hello, how you doing? Welcome to
Hi.
another ZoukCast episode, and this episode is number 30. Nymph, did you think we will arrive until number 30 episode?
Number 30.
Yeah.
It's a long way.
Like,
I thought, okay, in the beginning we did some tests and it was okay. Got some good feedback and it's still growing and it's growing. People
yeah,
are still watching.
we've been more than 15 hours here talking about Zouk. Okay, so this week we have an episode with our friend Jan from Berlin. How you doing, Jan?
Hello, everyone.
So
Good to be in the show. Good to be in the show.
so Jan, apart from personal friend, he's also teaching in Berlin, and he has an interesting concept to share with us. It's like a framework for understanding better the social dancing in Zouk, more or less. Am I right, Jan?
Correct, correct.
Okay, so first of all, talk about yourself a little bit. So, how did you met Zouk, and where do you come from, and what do you do for living? Because you are not only a teacher, right?
That is true. That is true. Well, let me first thank that we made it. That I made it to the show. Like being friends, and we made it for the 30th show. So it's not bad. It took only 30 shows to invite me.
Sorry
Thank you
about
very
that.
much.
Sorry about that.
No,
Okay.
well, I'll tell a bit about myself. Like in real life, this is where I am right now, is in my office. I'm a CEO and co-founder of a technology startup based in Berlin. So more on the tech side, although I don't have a real tech background, but yes, I'm running the tech business.
Nice.
So from the dance side, well, started my career more in solo dance, did capoeira, Brazilian Afro, Samba no Pé, so that was the first pathway, and then later came to partner dance, Zouk, contact improvisation, still doing modern and contemporary dance a bit. So yeah, a good fusion. And now let's say 7 years in Zouk. Yeah.
Okay. So, how did you met Zouk in the beginning? What was your aha moment with Zouk?
Well, it's this thing, this coincidence, you know. I think a couple of people have this coincidence. Actually, I by chance I wanted to go to a bachata class actually, and unfortunately I haven't had a dance partner, so they kicked me out. So I decided, okay, I go to another dance school, which was a Brazilian dance school, and the first class that I entered was Zouk, and since then I never stopped.
Okay. So, just by coincidence, we have another teacher in Berlin.
Yeah, that's how it
Okay.
goes.
So, the House of Zouk, this concept that you're building,
Yes.
where does it come from? When did you started to work around this concept?
Well, if I think about the compounds, I would say I started to work with it in 2012 when we organized the International Zouk Congress, the third actually, in 2012. And I thought about, okay, how do we set up the workshop program? And back in the days, the workshop programs were, I mean, pretty much the same, or the same workshops, the same things. And we thought like, okay, but what does it need to give the students and also the teachers like kind of a framework, different aspects that it needs to become a great dancer? And so that was basically the beginning of thinking about different aspects and how we could structure that. And that's actually what we did back in the days. In 2012 during the Zouk Congress, we gave a framework to the teachers to put their workshops in there in terms of themes, and kind of that was the first time where I like really got interested in the different aspects of it. And and like really like formulating the House of Zouk as it is. That was at the end of last year, and basically the question that is the ground, or that lays the basement for it, is what does it need to become a great social dancer? And for this, you have to draw the distinction. There is social dance, there is teaching, and there's performing.
Yeah.
And these three are very different disciplines.
Yeah, they're different skills, right?
Exactly. So you can be a great performer, not necessarily a great teacher, or a great social dancer. And so the three disciplines, if you want to call it, they are very different from each other. Mm-hmm. So the House of Zouk focuses on social dance. What does it need to become a great social dancer?
Okay, and how did you work on the concept? How did you develop the concept during these years?
Well, the concept sounds like something like really big and I made it up. Actually, this is not the case. I'm sure that others have the same thoughts and call it the same way or call it a different way, but basically it's just a framework of aspects, and I put it together, and I found the image of a house interesting because it consists of building blocks, and you build it up, and this is like your house, and that was the idea behind it. And so I formulated like the aspects, and I presented in some workshops, got a good feedback, spread it with you beforehand, with some other artists, some friends, and the feedback was pretty good. And I thought like, okay, I mean, it's not my concept, and I don't feel that I own it. It's more like I formulated it, but it's not that I own it, and I want to spread it. I mean, it's free for everyone. Everyone can use it, everyone can change it, everyone can add to it. Like, yeah, it's for common use, basically.
So I guess by now the audience is curious about this concept. So we know that you have a small presentation to show us and to explain a little bit about the framework that you're building. Maybe you can start with the presentation.
Yes, I'm trying to do that. Let me see. Okay. So this is good. No, we tried it before, so on the technical side.
Yeah.
Good, so I have this, and here we go. Wonderful. Okay, so the House of Zouk. What does it need to become a great social dancer? And as it is a house, it requires a lot of different aspects. So here you can see the full house. And I go through it like by the building blocks, like step by step. And then later, I mean, we can discuss it.
Fine, yeah.
So basically, the first part is, I called it steps and routines. Don't stick to the terms, like see that more like as, you could also name it differently, but I try to explain what the idea behind it is. The steps and routines is basically what most of us, how most of us started to learn Zouk. It's, you learn the basic step, you learn lateral, you learn some movements, so kind of this is the entry point. And a lot of classes are structured like this. So this is like this is the entry point, but this is not everything. So from there you continue. And the second building block I call partner technique. So basically, partner technique is more about principles. So you learn certain movements, but there are principles behind it. And to go away from thinking, okay, certain steps only have to go in this way, and then you anticipate as a follower, for example, what is coming. It is not anticipation. It's about principles, technical principles. And this is what I mean with partner technique. So you have this, but then it needs more. I mean, Zouk is a very complex dance, and it's also physically very demanding. I think something that we all like, that's why we do Zouk. And for this, the third building block is essential, and that is solo technique. or maybe call it body awareness. We had a discussion about that, which is basically the same. So it is about understanding your body structure, yourself, know how to do movements in order to protect yourself. And with this also it comes that movements look nice, look more beautiful. I mean, sometimes maybe you ask, okay, I've done so many classes and I know all these movements and all the routines, but still it does not look as beautiful as another couple. And often, like, one reason is that you're not aware of your body and you are not using like a proper technique for that. And that is a whole discipline. I mean, this alone is like what solo dancers like train on for their whole career, for their whole dance life.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And for Zouk, I believe this is very important. So we really have to focus on that. And sometimes this is like missing in classes because it's all about the partner things. So having said that, you have the 3 bricks. Steps and routines, basic step, entry point, going to partner technique, more about the principles, not anticipating what the moves are, but more working with the biomechanics. Like, this is like a little bit more of an abstract form, and the solo technique and the body awareness of yourself. Having this on board, you have the roof, and the roof I called attitude, motivation, and philosophy. So what do I mean with that? Basically, every one of us has a reason why we do Zouk, or why we go to the parties, or why we want to do partner dance. And this is kind of the reason, the motivation that is behind it. That can be very different. Some love the movement, some love the music, some go there to meet the other sex. These are all motivations, and we bring them to the dance floor. They are not explicit, they're implicit. We all have them. So this kind of, this way, yes. So this kind of creates the small house of Zouk. So if you want to go to the next step, and I'm still at the roof, is to work on the attitude, the motivation explicitly. So what do I mean with that? I actually believe that the most important time if you go to a party is before you go to the party. It is the mental model, the mental frame that you set. Like, am I willing to really open up? Am I really open to connect to other people? And actually, you make yourself vulnerable with that. So all these things are explicitly working with the motivation and attitude. And a level of mastery is to work on that, which is often forgotten because we are focused on so many other things of steps and what we train, etc. pp. Mm-hmm. So having this in place, you have like the small house of Zouk. And with this, and if you're equally balanced and you master all of that, and you also work on your attitude explicitly, you can be a really good social dancer.
Okay.
I think if you explain this to someone or to Zouk people, they would say like, yeah, this is all what we need. Excellent. And if I have that in place, I'm really good. But to go from here to the next level, like to say from good to great, it needs more. It needs more. And what do I mean with that? And those are now the two missing building blocks. And this is what I called, or what I think is musicality. Mm-hmm. And musicality in a special way. It's not about, okay, I can do a routine on certain music. No, it is much more. It is like, I describe it as a threesome. It is the threesome between you, your partner, and the music.
Yeah,
so
I'm familiar with the concept.
So that means, I mean, in my opinion, it even a little bit of music theory goes to it. So that means it's not just about the rhythm. It's not just about basic rhythm, all that what we know. I mean, it is much more. It's about it's about the melody. It's about the harmonies. It's about a solid understanding of how music is composed. And with this, you can play. You can play all what you learned before and use it, but on different aspects of the music. But that requires practice, and that requires first an understanding and theoretical understanding, then a practical, and then a lot of practice, listening to music, listening to different kinds of music, and then using this on the dance floor with all what you know. And I mean, this is like a whole dimensions that you have to really work on. So this is this is already the next. This is really already the next level. Like if you master that, like whoa, okay, you come to that point of becoming really a great social dancer. And then the last building block, and it's a big block because, in my opinion or in my belief, this is basically the essence, which makes like a huge difference between good and great, and I called it like the art of connection. So what do I mean with the art of connection? Well, the art of connection is like probably best described with the term oneness. And I mean, a lot of us have experienced that, but it's like, it's this moment when you become one with your partner, you become one with your partner and the music, and there is no judgment anymore. There is no right and wrong. Everything that happens is okay and is perfectly right. But it's not easy to come to that point, because with this, of course, you also have to totally open up on both sides. And and this is something you have to train, and some are probably more talented naturally and others less, but you can work on that, you can train that, you can work on breathing techniques, you can work on exercises to open up, to connect to your partner. And I think this is like really essential, and this is often missed in classes and what is usually taught. So having all of this in place is what I call the big House of Zouk, well, with all the compounds. Okay. So final word or final sentence. Why did I come up with it? Because I wanted to show students and people how many aspects it needs on which you have to work on. And also from the teaching perspective, how many aspects you have to think of when you teach. And this categorization can be used from both sides in terms of if I can see where probably my weak spots are, and but I can also see when I participate in classes, what are the classes focused on and what are the classes not focused on. And also from the teaching side, like if I teach, I can look like, okay, what do I put my attention on? And I should actually bring all of these aspects as a certain point to my trainings, and if I have students, to my students.
Yeah. So you have this big block on the bottom with the other connection because it's double important for you than the other aspects, or more important?
Yes, I wanted to, yeah. I mean, this is probably my personal feeling, but for me, this is kind of the essence. That's why I thought of it as a big building block. That does not mean that this is the only thing, by far not. But kind of this is the heart of what I believe, or at least what I love about Zouk, and I think what also others find very attractive to in Zouk.
Yeah, it's a good visualization of your idea, like with the roof on top and the different sizes of the blocks showcasing. But actually, I was interested in the next slide the last one that you showed.
Okay.
Now I'm a nerd, and Nick is too.
I go back to it. Yeah. The last slide. Yep.
Because I think it's an important concept also there that we have to talk about.
Okay, yes, we should talk about it. Wait, the nerdy part. Here we go.
Okay, so you're free to share, copy, and redistribute the material in any medium or format, or adapt, remix, transform, and build upon the material for any purpose, even commercially.
Yes.
Where does it come from?
Well, it's basically a license. I mean, we all know copyright, and copyright is the aspect of you own something and someone else has to, well, cannot use it if he is not like paying for it or paying you for it. And this is kind of the other aspect to it. It's like the copy left, if you want to say. It created in software development or used in software development, but often also like internet media formats. So basically it says it's another form of a license, and this license is like a public license. So it says like, you can use it. I explicitly allow you to use it, to copy it, to remix it, to make it your own. I mean, this is the most open license that you can have. And why I use it, I want to really show that this is not, I don't own it, and I don't want to own it. It is everyone can use it. Everyone can adapt it in a way that they think it's good. It would be great if you drop me a message or say where you got the aspects from. But beside of that, you can do whatever you want with it.
Good. So back to your face now.
Yeah.
And that's a big important thing about the framework. Like, you want it to be open to discussion, and you want people to collaborate with it and to make it grow. Because do you see room for a third floor in the house? Like if somebody comes with new aspects that you would be open to add some blocks?
I hope so. I would be glad if you open it, find a third floor. Like, this is, I mean, it's free for everyone, and there's no right and wrong about it. This is just like a conceptual framework, but I'm sure there are much more aspects to it, or you can have different opinions about what is important and what is not so important. And this is all fine to me. I mean, this is a starting point, and it should help people, and it should foster a thinking process and a doing process, and not like not starting a differentiation like what is good and what is bad. I mean, I think all is good if you think about things like that.
So let's say that Nymph now has a new idea and he wants to share with you something about the House of Zouk, because he wants to add a big brick to the house. How does Nymph do that? How does he collaborate with the concept?
Well, I mean, first of all, he can do it on him by himself. I mean, if Nymph wants to use it for his classes and he wants to adapt it and he wants to change it, do it. Go for it. I mean, perfectly fine. I would be glad if he would drop me a message and say, hey, look, I thought about this, and how about that, and could we do this in that way, or what do you think about this? Just to enter a discussion.
Is there any contact information how I can reach you?
Yeah. I mean, okay. In general, everyone can drop me a message on Facebook who is a friend of mine, or befriend me, or drop me an email.
Where can they find this information? Do you put it on the slide, or?
It's on the slide. It's on the slide. Yeah. It's on the slide. I'm happy to send the slides to everyone, and I mean, it's open for free use.
Yeah, I think you can put it on Facebook or some cloud storage, and then put it public so everyone can reach it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Nymph, what do you think about the House of Zouk?
Yeah, I miss the dog. I miss the trees, a garden, those kind of stuff, and the babies.
Good aspect, yes.
Yeah, but I was wondering, like, how long would it take to master all these blocks? Is that for every person different? And if you master this block, are you a good social dancer, or are you a teacher?
Well, teaching is a different discipline. I mean, you can use the concept for teaching, but in generally, it's a different discipline. I mean,
but if you master connection, if you master this musicality stuff, if you master solo dancing, those concepts, are you still a solo dancer, or are you a teacher? If you master all the concepts.
That is a good question. So the question is not so much about the concept, but the question is what makes you a teacher, and what do you need to become a teacher? I mean, most probably a lot of people have different opinions about that.
Because a good teacher has to know also all these concepts.
Yeah, but
So where
also,
where is the limit? Like, hey, here you are a social dancer, and if you master like musicality, it takes, even for a musician, it takes years of practice to master this
Absolutely.
harmony, musicality, melody, everything. So where is this for a social dancer, and above this, it's like more for teacher? Is there a limit?
Well, I think there are no limits. I think in general, I mean, naturally it could be that you're not good in everything.
Yeah.
That does not mean like you have to master everything on an excellent level and only then. I mean, we all grow and we all have our weak points and we all have our history. I mean, if I come from a solo dance background, of course, by my history, I'm stronger. I'm already strong in the compound a solo dance technique.
Yeah.
Right. So I have therefore also I have a hard time to say, okay, this takes all in all so many years. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on where you come from, what is your background. If you're a musician, probably you have some strength in the musicality part already. But why? Not because you're a genius, but it's because you already spent time on it. You already worked on concepts of this.
So I would say, like, to be a good solo dancer, you should know the basics about like musicality, about music, rhythm, melody. You should have to know basic stuff about connection, about solo dancing, like basic steps. So then you are a good solo dancer. And
So
if you go
social
like
dancer.
more, social dancer. And if you became more advanced in all these steps, then you can be also a teacher.
yeah, but if I may now,
Sure.
I guess that even if you master all the building blocks, there's another skill that it's needed for being a teacher. That it's the ability to transfer information, and that's not an easy skill. Like it's one thing to understand yourself. It's another thing to make yourself understood. And that's, I think that the House of Zouk is based, like Jan said, on being a good social dancer. But in order to be a teacher, a good teacher for all the house, you should add this garden with the trees that you asked, that it would be the knowledge of how to transfer the information in a proper way. And for that you require some different skills, like maybe some analytical mind, or maybe you need some empathy to be able to put yourself in the place of the student. It's not only to understand, but also to be able to take the place of the student to make him understand, right?
Yes. That's what I meant. It's a different discipline. You can use the House of Zouk as a conceptual framework for teaching, of course. But this is not, it is about social dance, and it's not about teaching. Teaching needs other aspects, as you said. It needs didactics, for example. I mean, and didactics is also, I mean, you can study didactics. I mean, I studied partly didactics, so it's like, this again is a compound that you can work with like for many years in order to master it somehow.
Yeah. So who's for you a good example of a social dancer that has a good enough level of mastery in each block that you would say that the audience would know about, you know, like somebody famous in the Zouk world that you can think he is a good representation of the House of Zouk?
Well, and then now give me a tricky one, because we had this conversation, and no, I invited you for a
No. Apart from me.
Okay, good. Thank you that we clarified that. Okay.
Yeah.
I like Carlos, for example.
Carlos from Carlos and Ilse.
Yes, exactly. I mean, watching him, I love the musicality, I love the playfulness, I love the connection. So with him, I can see like a lot of these aspects in place.
Yeah, and he's like obsessed with mastering everything around. So, yeah, I heard. I don't know if he told me or I heard from somebody that in 1 year he could attend like 40 events or festivals. Like he was almost every weekend in a different festival around Europe and the rest of the world. So he's a really good sample, I would say.
But exactly, and also, I mean, this shows the point that you have to work on it. Eh? I mean, it takes time, it takes a lot of practice, it takes classes, but it takes, of course, also the social dance. This is like the real mastery. I mean, classes are there for learning, but then to bring it out there, I mean, the social dance floor is the big master.
Okay. And in terms of a big name, that was what I was looking for. Did someone come to mind?
Someone comes to my mind. I like. Yeah, it's always like now it's tricky, huh? Because I also have myself now, right? So, I love Bao. I mean, of course, I mean he's closer to us or to me. He was in Berlin last summer, and he's here back again. But I love the smoothness, the gentleness. You can see that there's this aspect of really adapting and becoming a harmonic organism with the partner and the music.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Bal is one of my favorites from the big names with quotes, big names.
Big, yeah, I wanted to say that was good.
Okay, Nymph, we are out of time, and this is the episode that felt the shortest to me. So, do you have any extra question to make to Jan?
Yeah, Jan, are you a good social dancer?
I still have a lot to learn, I'm sure.
So
the good thing is, no, what I really believe is the more you learn, the more you realize how much you still have to learn.
Yeah, that's true. And always go back to the basic and learn again, yeah.
Just last week I was telling to a student, like I've been dancing 11 years, and these 11 years, the whole years, I've been stuck in the same level in my mind, you know, like I never seem to advance, because I always thinking like I have so much to learn still.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay, so any extra thing that you wanted to say about the House of Zouk or any other thing, Jan?
Just I want to invite everyone. I want to invite people to write me if they want the slides. I mean, or repost it somewhere. Just if you like it, spread the word, use it, remix it, make it your own, add things, discuss it, change things if you don't like them. Perfectly fine. It's more an instrument to inspire people and to make them think of what there is and what there can be.
Nice. Okay, so Jan, thank you for being here. We took a little bit to invite you, but you are here finally, and it's been a pleasure to get to know more about your concept and to show it to ZoukCast audience. So please continue working on it, and we will get back to it in a few episodes, right?
Super. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and Nymph, thanks also for being here.
You're welcome.
Do we have somebody for next week already, or still working on it?
I think they are still working on it.
Yeah, by they, Nymph is referring to Sandra and Sheena, the two ladies in production. That yes. we never thank them enough. Like we couldn't do ZoukCast if it wasn't for them, because all the work that goes in chasing people to be able to for them to be here and to schedule the calendars and everything. It's like a really hard work that they do for us, and we are really, really thankful to them. And I thought we should mention them more often, right?
Yes, yes.
Also, as always, we have this URL here, like patreon.com/ZoukCast, where you can collaborate with us if you want to help us a little bit. And also, we have this thing here, the summer weekend from Zouk Devils, where you will have some of the best social dancers, like Jan, for example.
Yes.
You will have
Super
also
looking
him
forward.
there. You will have also Carlos that Jan mentioned, and Val Clemente. So we have the whole team there. Okay, so we expect you to be there, and you can come and go to Jan and discuss this concept in Mataró during the parties, when you feel like he's free, because he will be so busy dancing with the ladies, right?
Nice.
Okay, so that's all for today. Again, thank you, Jan, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nim, for co-hosting as always. And that's all for today. See you next week, people. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.